For being such a well-known cryptid, there aren't that many horror movies about the Loch Ness Monster, when compared to Bigfoot at least. Maybe there's a good reason for that. I mean, besides pulling you under the water, what else can Nessie really do? Well, let's find out in the Loch Ness Horror. The movie starts out with some guy watching a Nazi plane crash. Then, Nessie shows up to take a look. Meanwhile, this guy's just like, there's something you don't see every day. Years later, we have these guys out looking for the monster. And, well, they find her. She wasn't really hiding in the first place. They dive down and find the plane from the beginning. But they aren't there for that. They want the monster. And she attacks, killing one of the guys. But the other escapes with an egg. He takes the egg back to the boss, Professor Pratt, who was actually in another low-budget movie I've reviewed, God Monster of Indian Flats. What a weird one that was. Now we meet Professor Sanderson and Spencer Dean. Spencer is a sonar expert and was sent from America to help find the beast. But they don't want to kill it or anything, they just want to prove that it exists. They meet up with Jack Stewart, who's the guy from the beginning that saw the plane crash. But more importantly, he took this photo, the famous photo of Nessie. In reality, this photo was taken by Dr. Robert Kenneth Wilson and is known as the surgeon's photo, because, well, he was a surgeon. In the years after it was taken, it's pretty much been confirmed a hoax, but that doesn't mean it didn't get the public's attention, and is probably the main reason this movie exists. The guys all talk about the creature for a while, and eventually we meet Jack's granddaughter, Kathleen. Naturally, Spencer instantly falls in love. So what we have here are the good guys and the bad guys. Nessie isn't really either of them. She just wants her egg back, but she doesn't know where to start. So she picks people off, one by one. Meanwhile, Dr. Sanderson gives a lecture to a bunch of students about the loch and its monster. Here's where we find out that Nessie must be a hermaphrodite, because there's only one of them, yet she must still reproduce. While this is all going on, Spencer and Kathleen are out in the water using the sonar. They find the creature's lair, but it's getting late and it's time for her to head home. She starts walking back, finds Pratt's van, and he kidnaps her. Why? I have no idea. Now we get introduced to the military side of things. The British use the loch for training, and Pratt wants to talk to them about the egg. He pulls up, with Kathleen tied up in his van, by the way, and instead of explaining the situation to them, he just pulls out his gun and threatens these armed officers. It doesn't matter anyway, because Nessie attacks, killing Pratt and the others, but when she sees Kathleen, she just wanders away. She was so close to her egg. Now, looking for answers, the military meet with Jack and the others, and I guess they needed to wrap this movie up, because everything is explained in about 5 minutes. So the plane from the beginning was carrying explosives to mine the area, and it crashed into the water. However, a young officer named Donald Gregory was supposed to be on lookout and shoot down any enemy planes. He got lucky and it just crashed, but he took all the credit and claimed he took it down. Now, Gregory is a member of Parliament and he wants to cover all this up. So, they sent a guy down there to blow up the plane. And, well, he does just that. Once down there, he arms the bombs. Nessie attacks him, but she's too late, and everything, including the monster, are blown to bits. Not all hope is lost, however, because Kathleen and Spencer release the egg back into the water, so a new Nessie can be born. In the end, what we have here is a military cover-up, with the Loch Ness Monster thrown in for good measure. Really, if it wasn't for the egg stealing, she wouldn't be in this movie at all. Nessie's only there for the filler kills, which aren't really that impressive. By far, the best thing to come out of this movie is this.
Oh my! You are a big one now, aren't you?
Yes, that is the same puppet they made for this film, dressed up as Jack the Ripper. It's from Amazon Women to the Moon, in a segment where the famous killer is indeed the Loch Ness Monster. I gotta make time to watch that one. The biggest problem with the Loch Ness Horror is it's just boring. I found myself doing other stuff while watching it and not really being all that interested in the plot. Well, it didn't seem to matter anyway because they wrapped it up all nice and neat in the end. I did like that they casted actual Scottish actor. No, I'm sorry, I can't even say that with a straight face. The accents are awful. The puppet almost looks friendly at times, and the gore looks like cherry Kool-Aid. Skip the Loch Ness Horror unless you love fake accents and goofy rubber puppets. I give it 1 Nessie the Ripper out of 4.
Is it true, Mr. Dean, that Americans go to the picture house more than once a month and spend a lot of time looking at magazines of naked women?
Yes.